we have with us today Matt Salvator. Matt is an insurance guy. That's what everybody's thinking about right now, Matt. Everybody's thinking about their insurance people, right? He happens to be my insurance agent, the firm's insurance agent, has been so for years, way back to Hurricane Ivan. And Matt and I have done videos together in the past that are on the YouTube channel discussing hurricane insurance. I wanted Matt, though, to refresh everybody after Hurricane Sally. What should people be doing about potential insurance claims? What kind of things do they need to be videoing and taking pictures of and saving? What do they need to do? Matt, go ahead and give them
that's a great point, Joe. The first thing is to go ahead and file your claim. If you can't get a hold of your agent, our phones have been down, so unfortunately we've been doing the best we can. But you should have an 800 number for the insurance carrier and hopefully your policy number. Go ahead and file your claim. And then in the interim, you want to take actions to mitigate any further losses. And as Joe said, pictures are great. Videos of the damage are great. Been telling people to do that. Some things like fences down and stuff that don't necessarily need to be, I mean, adjuster's going to come by and see that, but that doesn't, more you want to prevent further damage to your house. So whatever you have to do, like get wet carpet outside, I mean, the adjuster will be able to tell where the carpet is, stuff of that nature. You can take preventative losses to mitigate further damage. And then
you actually have an obligation, do you not, to mitigate your damages?
Correct. In the policy.
So here's what you need to understand. If you have wet carpet in your house and you're like, well, the insurance company's going to pay for that because that water came in through the broken window that the wind broke or whatever. And you're thinking, well, they'll pay for that and I'm not going to worry about getting that out because that ain't my problem. That's the insurance company's problem. Well, that may be true for a couple of days. But if that carpet is left in your house and then you develop a mold problem or something else gets wet and gets compromised because you didn't take the carpet out in a reasonable amount of time. Now, they're not saying within minutes, right? Or within hours of the storm, but within a reasonable amount of time, you have to, under the insurance contract, you have to take reasonable steps to mitigate your damage.
Correct.
Minimize your damages. You don't have to eliminate them, but you got to make it to where they're not being aggravated by your failure to move stuff out. Carpet is a good example. What are some other examples of that?
Well, I've had a lot of people asking about putting up shutters. This storm kind of caught everybody off guard. So a lot of people didn't put up shutters and they're wondering, hey, the window leaked. I didn't get a chance to put up the shutters. Is the insurance still going to cover that? Well, you don't want to put yourself in danger. So they're still going to cover even though you may not have or some people didn't get a chance to put their jet skis up, or they didn't get to put their boats in deeper water or somewhere safer. So the way this storm kind of crept up on us and it turned east, a lot of us just didn't have time. So the insurance company understands that. As far as shutters, they don't want you doing anything, life-threatening and stuff. So those are some other examples. But as far as after the storm, don't put yourself in jeopardy, like cutting out some tree limbs that you're not, running a chainsaw that you're not comfortable with or something like that. An adjuster can see that stuff. But carpet's probably your best example, cleaning it out, drying out the house. I know power's kind of spotty here and there in Pensacola, and I think Gulf Breeze pretty much we've got some power back out here. The beach, I don't think they have power yet. So yeah.
No, a lot of the beaches don't have power. So here's what, from a legal standpoint, you're going to be careful about what you say. Here's what you need to understand, and Matt can speak to this better than I can. But you don't have a hurricane policy per se. You have a flood policy and you have a wind policy. And there are covered perils under the flood policy and there are covered perils under the wind policy. And when the adjusters come to your house to look at your house, they're going to be working under one of those policies, not both. And they're going to have coverages for either flood perils or wind perils. And you do not want to say things that could jeopardize coverage under either policy. As a lawyer, I would want you to let them gather information don't offer anything to them. I wouldn't offer anything to them in the form of what you believe happened, what you think happened, what you saw happen. Let them go and figure out what it is they're going to cover and not, without the benefit of you providing them additional information that could potentially hurt you. That's why I don't think you should do it. And then if there's a need to come back and counter what they are taking the position in a denial, for instance, and you have evidence, for instance, you saw what happened and you have a video of it happening, then you can bring that up. What you don't want to do, because you don't know your policy inside and out at this point, is you don't want to just give some kind of irrefutable account as to how this happened, thinking it's helping you form a claim under this particular policy, when you could be providing the exact thing they need to deny coverage. And I know that's really not where the insurance agents are really looking at. Insurance agents are trying to get you in front of an adjuster, right?
Correct.
Matt?
Correct.
And y'all are making sure that happens. Y'all have sold insurance policies to your customers for this event, and you are now being the liaison, if you will, between insurance company and insurance adjuster, in hopes that that contract, that product you sold to your customer, is going to do what it's supposed to do.
Correct.
Right?
That's correct. Yeah. Yeah.
And the good news is I'd say, well, it depends on what hurricane you're dealing with, but over 50% of the time in many storms, there's no need to have a lawyer. So most of the situations, the wind carrier is going to say this is much as our deal, the flood carrier is going to say this much as our deal, and between the two, you're going to get it worked out. Okay.
And Joe, just a little hinter is, I would recommend, I tell everybody too, you want to start getting estimates too, if you can. I know roofers are really busy right now. I know fencers are fencing is a little tough right now, because I don't even think they have the lumber. But I tell people, when they call me up, they ask me, what should I be doing? And I said, well, I would reach out to a handyman. I'd start reaching out to some contractors. If you know somebody, if you want to go through the phone book, I would start getting your own quotes. That way, when the insurance company presents you with their proposal, you're not just going to say, okay, well, that sounds like enough. You want to have it there that, okay, well, ABC contractor told me that it's going to cost me this much. That's a big thing that I think people should be doing, looking to get quotes and stuff. I know roofers are a little busy right now, so.
Right. And the one thing I did learn about, people from out of town, you want to make sure that the company that's proposing to do something for you is licensed by the Florida Department of Business and Professional Regulation. And you can check that online. It's the Florida Department of Business and Professional Regulation. And you need to check that online before you sign up with any contractor. If they're not licensed through the state of Florida, by the way, the State Department of Business and Professional Regulation will make sure that they have insurance and licensing and all that. If they're from Texas and they haven't qualified to do business in Florida, you're going to have potentially a lot of trouble enforcing that contract one way or the other. And so that's why it's always better to have a company that's licensed by the Florida Department of Business and Professional Regulation. You can ask the contractor that question and then check their answer online. Or you can call the Department of Business and Professional Regulation and verify it if you don't have access to the internet. But don't do this stuff in a hurry. You're going to get messed up if you rush this stuff, like Matt said.
Yes. There's
no rush. The insurance companies are going to be in a rush to get you money, because a lot of them want to try to get you paid a lower amount, okay? And if they see that somebody's coming in and can do your roof for $2,000, and a reasonable person that's licensed, bonded, and insured and certified to do business by the Florida Department of Business and Professional Regulation says it's going to cost $25,000 to do your roof, well, the insurance company, we'll be happy to pay you $3,000 to get your roof done today by that company from Texas. And you're like, okay. And then you sign off on that, and you don't get a roof, you lose the $3,000, you give it to the Texas company, and trying to get it back from them is impossible because you don't even know who they are, and the business card they gave you is not a real business entity in Texas. And so then you're stuck. Your insurance claim is gone. You've got no roof, and the money they gave you, you gave to people in Texas that have now left. So
that's
be
my next
careful.
biggest fear. Yeah. Just be careful. Do your research on these folks, and that's the biggest word right now, Joe, is patience. A lot of people are asking me, where's our adjuster? We haven't heard from adjuster. Well, I mean, we got 2 bridges out. I would probably give it, they say 48 hours, and usually they've been trying to call people. I mean, we're getting on it. Sally was a category 2, but boy, yeah, we've got some claims out there. So but patience. Yeah.
So what kind of calls do you get? Where's my policy? Do I have a policy? Is that what you're getting?
Yeah. Well, I think Mike Tyson said it the best. Everybody's got a plan until you get punched in the face. And I did not see this coming when I left work. I was thinking rainstorm. And I drove down, was it Soundview Trail the morning? I think it was, when was it? Tuesday morning. I drove down Soundview Trail about 5:30, and it was a lot of rain then. And so, and then I guess I was watching Channel 3 that evening, and Alan Strum kind of just shook his head and said, I don't know. And that when a meteorologist says they don't know. So, and then it just, you were there too. So it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And so, and I mean, I've got a lot of clients that are not just clients, but you and their personal friends. So I was just, oh boy, I think we're, but I didn't see it coming when I left work that, what was it, Tuesday, I think it was. So, or Wednesday.
Well, I rested easy, Matt, because I knew you had all my stuff in shape. So I knew that Matt had me covered no matter what was going to happen.
Yeah. We got the coverages. I just still don't like, I don't like people losing their stuff, and, but I guess it's where we live. It's a beautiful
that's right.
But,
So if you have customers that are watching this and they don't have a copy of their shouldn't they get their wind policy and their flood policy out? And I would get it out. Make sure your coverage periods are up to date. In other words, make sure you've got the right one for this year. Because I think a lot of them are coming due in October, aren't they? Or did I dream that?
The policies renew all year long at different dates and everything. The biggest thing, Joe, is, I mean, if you call us, thankfully we've got our Wi-Fi up, and, we're able to answer the phone. So I can give you your policy number, and I'll give you the claims number. As far as like reviewing your policy and stuff, we can get you a copy later on, and then that's a good idea to review it. But most people, that's the first question I ask is, do you have a copy of your policy? And if not, then I provide you with your policy number and the claims number, because your policy number and your claim number should be on your declaration page. I don't want to speak
And the
for
declarations page is the very first page that has all the dollar amounts on it. It'll say what your premium is and how much coverage you're getting for that premium. And it tells you what kind of coverage you'll have for dwelling, what you have for other structures, what you have for assisted living expenses, if you have that. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah.
All
I
the
called
dollars,
the deck page in the declaration.
It's just a list of dollars, amounts.
It'll give you the policy period. Your policy number will be on that page. And then,
And then all the other legal mumbo jumbo that lawyers look at on the other pages deals with all the things that could get you in trouble if you start yapping off to an adjuster or somebody over the phone, right, about how you think this happened. So that's why it's important to be careful about what you say and what you don't say to these people while they're out there, especially if you're on a recorded line with your insurance company. So be careful about that. The law firm's happy to review your policy if you want us to for any reason. No strings attached. We don't have an interest in these claims until and if they end up going to litigation. So there's not really anything in it for the law firm or for Matt, for that matter. At this point in time, we're just, as a customer service type thing, we're helping advise people with their insurance policies about how to proceed. Heaven forbid you get in a fight with them and you need a lawyer. We're certainly able to do that later on. But for now, it's all about trying to get you through this process without having a lawyer involved. So, Matt, I appreciate you spending time. Is there a phone number or a web address, Matt, that you can give out now for your place?
Yeah, it's 932, well, area code 850-932-3459, or salvatorins.com is our website. So yeah, reach
And
out to
where's
us.
your office again physically? So you can tell people.
We are in Gulf Breeze, down by Oriole Beach Road. If you're familiar, down 98, if you go down the National Seashore, we're located right before the subway is what I tell people. Yeah, because you'll see subway down here. Yeah.
Matt's in the heart of Gulf Breeze. When you include Gulf Breeze proper and Gulf Tiger Point, he's right in the middle. And so that's where you can find Matt if you're driving by stuck in traffic and you want to pop in there and talk to him about your insurance policy. Maybe you want to buy coverage. You know, I don't know if you can even place coverage for the storms that are out in the Gulf, but I think you can for the ones that are out in the Atlantic. If you want to make sure your policies are up to date, if you want to talk to him about a possible claim that you have from Sally, you can find us on the web at zarzaurlaw.com. You can call us at 855-HIRE-JOE. Matt will be in touch over the next week or two just to make sure we're covering all the bases. You guys can call either one of us if you have questions about your claim. Where's your adjuster? What to say to the adjuster? I can't find my policy. Is this covered? Is that covered? We're happy to review those for you. All right, Matt, thank you for taking time out of your busy day. Thanks to you and your staff. Y'all take care.
Okay, buddy. Thank you.
Bye-bye.